My name is Brenda Webb, and I'm the Executive Director of Chicago Filmmakers, and we are truly honored to host this event today to celebrate the growth of the film industry in Illinois. And I'm proud to be able to highlight Chicago Filmmakers' mission and the role it plays in the local film community. At Chicago Filmmakers, we believe that artistic talent deserves to be nurtured, including creative visionaries from all walks of life. We believe in the power of film and media to uplift and empower our communities and give them a greater voice. And we believe in forging greater representation in film and media for people of color and the LGBTQIA community, as well as other groups traditionally underrepresented on the screen and behind the camera. The state of Illinois is helping us to realize this vision through the new Film and TV Workforce Training Program. Last year, Chicago Filmmakers' inaugural PA training program included a diverse group of highly motivated individuals looking for a pathway into the film industry. I'm pleased to report that 91% of them have already gotten jobs in the film industry immediately after finishing the program. And later this month, we're excited to kick off our second cohort, just March 25th. So with that, it is my honor to introduce Governor JB Pritzker, who has been instrumental in promoting Illinois' growing film industry while fostering a welcoming and inclusive environment. Governor?
Thank you, Brenda. Appreciate it. Well, thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you for your leadership. Thanks for hosting us today. Good afternoon, everyone. I really am thrilled to be here at Chicago Filmmakers alongside our legislative leaders, our industry leaders, labor organizers, stars, community partners, to celebrate the highest film and TV production revenue in state history. Wow. Chicago Filmmakers is in its 50th year, assisting Chicago filmmaking community with production funding, equipment and space rentals, and financial sponsorship, along with professional development, networking sessions, youth camps, and low and no-cost film classes. Last year, I launched the Film and TV Workforce Training Program, and Chicago Filmmakers, along with 6 other organizations, have been invaluable partners as we work to diversify the film industry and its workforce. We have with us today 4 extraordinary Chicago series cast members: Jason Begay, Eamon Walker, David Eigenberg, and Miranda Ray Mayo. Thank you for joining us today. Every Wednesday night, you all help entertain millions and millions of people across the nation, indeed across the world, I would guess, and keeping people glued to our screens with your talent and your empathy, and you do it while showcasing the great global city of Chicago. Thank you for your work and for helping us make our state the rising star of TV and film production across the nation. To Alderman Harry Osterman, who's joined us today, and Senator Mike Simmons, our TV and film industry success is in part a testament to your advocacy and your colleagues in the General Assembly and in the City Council, and I really am honored to stand alongside you and your colleagues in this success. Of course, none of this would be possible without the leadership of Peter Hawley, the director of the Illinois Film Office, and Jonah Zeiger, the director of the Chicago Film Office. They do tremendously important work and have helped to make this possible today. And no one knows better than the hardworking film crews, members of organized labor here with us today, that our success in the film and TV production industry is more than just a set of revenue numbers. It means thousands of good-paying jobs for the men and women that you represent. And I'm humbled to be your partner in creating and attracting more opportunities for Illinoisans in the film industry. In 2019, I signed into law an expansion of the Illinois Film Production and Tax Credit Act, bringing stability to Illinois' booming film industry and the workforce that fuels it. And last year, I was proud to extend it through 2033, that same tax credit, guaranteeing a prosperous decade ahead for producers and writers and directors, designers, editors, actors, camera operators, and production assistants alike. Well, thanks to those expansions, we made history in 2022. We garnered a record-setting $691 million in film production expenditures, a more than $130 million increase from pre-pandemic levels. We generated more than $400 million in wages for our workers, $50 million more than pre-pandemic levels. And we doubled our 2020 hiring numbers to a new record once again. Of course, the production staff, cast, and crew need comfortable places to stay across Illinois, excellent local restaurants to dine in, welcoming taverns to visit after hours. I'm sure none of you do that, any of that. Quality catering companies to bring meals to the set, drivers to transport crews to different filming locations, and well-trained, diverse workforce to help bring productions to life. Our film and TV production industry is a boon for our entire economy. Just look at the high-quality TV entertainment that has come from Chicago. The entire One Chicago franchise, Chicago PD, Chicago Med, Fire, and Justice, continues to reign supreme with over 600 episodes already. The Bear, which earned critical acclaim and a Best Actor in a Comedy TV Series Golden Globe Award for star Jeremy Allen White. And if you ask me about The Bear's Emmy potential, all I have to say is, yes, chef. Production for Apple TV Plus's hotly anticipated sci-fi series Dark Matter commenced in Chicago this last October. And HBO Max's Somebody Somewhere recently wrapped filming in Lockport, with season 2 right around the corner. With classic films like Home Alone and Road to Perdition and Divergent and The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, The Dark Knight, and A League of Their Own, and so many others, there's no denying that Illinois has become a national leader in the film industry, too. And we're going to keep it that way. So far in 2023, we are in yet another record-breaking year. Whether your dream is to be a breakout TV star, an A-list director, or a renowned cinematographer, Illinois is a place that you need to be. And all of us will be waiting here with open arms to welcome you home. And with that, it is my great honor and pleasure to introduce Chicago PD's very own Jason Begay. Jason.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hi. Well, I am Jason Begay, and I want to introduce my co-stars. This is Eamon Walker, David Eichenberg, Miranda Mayo, and it's an honor for us to be here. And I have to say that I've worked all over the world, but truly, the crews here in Chicago are the best in the world. It's the truth. And none of it would be possible without your support, Governor. It's thanks to the Governor's leadership and steadfast support that the film and television industry is taking off all across Illinois. It's becoming a worldwide industry leader in entertainment. And with these productions, we've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs come. And many of them started in places like where we're standing right now. The Chicago Filmmakers Production Assistant Training Program, it trains, just like the name says, members of the community to receive the preparation they need to begin careers in the industry as production assistants. And another program close to my heart is the Cinecares Internship Program, where we get kids and young adults, we find them. They're from the neighborhood surrounding our studios, and they learn the training to become production assistants, and they're referred by great neighborhood community partners like Chicago Housing Authority, North Lawndale Community Network, UCAN, Chicago, and Youth Guidance. And it's in partnership with IATSE Local 476, the unions, and Cinespace, Universal TV, Wolf Films, that they place these kids, these young adults, in jobs on our One Chicago shows where they're paid. I mean, competitive compensation, and they begin a career. And I've seen just dozens of these kids move on to do there's so much room for growth in our business, and these people start in an office and they follow their dreams. So it's more than just a job, really. It's a chance to really follow a dream. There's a self-esteem that you can't put a price on, and it's these kind of programs that I think is what makes our industry what it is. It's a chance for everyone. And, you know, when we come into town to make movies, we have to interact with local businesses. And from what I've understood, oh, by the way, these kids that have gone on, let me tell you something. 80% of them are now working full-time in film and television. You know, more than 80%. And more than 50% are union members. That's security, pension, health insurance. These are send my kids to college jobs. It's a good thing. So there's a lot of room for growth. But again, none of that would be possible without the support of Governor Pritzker and the city of Chicago. So we're very, very grateful. We're happy you're all here to help us celebrate this. And thank you. Together we really are one Chicago.
I'd like to introduce our Director of the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, Kristen Richards.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor Pritzker. Thank you, Jason, for those great remarks. You know, when I started this job about 7 weeks ago, I did not expect to find myself on stage with celebrities. It's a nice way to end the week. Thank you so much for joining us in today's celebration. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kristen Richards, and I am the Director of the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, or DCEO. I have the pleasure of overseeing the Illinois Film Office, spearheaded by the incomparable Peter Hawley and his team who are here today. Yes. In addition to celebrating record-breaking film production investments, we are also celebrating the new film training program. I am proud to say that the first cohort was more than 70% students of color, with 80% of participants obtaining paid positions on productions after graduation. Just again, restating the point that Jason made, that's very, very good news for the industry. None of this would be possible without the leadership of Governor Pritzker and the Illinois General Assembly, who expanded the film production tax credit and launched this new innovative training program to build a diverse film crew pipeline. In addition to serving as a boost to local economies, productions drive tourism. Locals and visitors alike love visiting iconic locations from the films and TV that invoke nostalgia and make us proud to be Illinoisans. They can even put new businesses on the map, like Loaf Lounge in Avondale, known for making the iconic chocolate cake in the Bear. And let's not forget commercials, which account for a large part of Illinois' production expenditures. In fact, this is kind of a fun one. One of the commercials filmed last year just happens to feature an out-of-state lottery. So that's right, another state lottery, who simply could not resist Illinois' tax credits and state-of-the-art sound stages, decided to film with us. Yay! Yeah. So thank you again for being here today to celebrate the record-breaking production growth in the great state of Illinois. And with that, I will introduce Alderman Osterman.
Thank you all for being here in Edgewater in the 48th Ward. I want to thank the governor for his leadership to make all this possible. You're in Chicago Filmmakers, where 10 years ago this was a functioning firehouse. So it's great to have the men and women from the Chicago Fire here today. But this building and the work that went on to make this a dynamic theater for Chicago filmmakers is about partnership between government and the arts. Government and film. And I think with the expansion of filming in Chicago and Illinois, you see that partnership flourish. And you've heard here today about the jobs that are created, the dreams that are created. We have to continue to do that, whether it's here in Edgewater or in Lawndale at CineSpace or anywhere in the state of Illinois. It's about partnership and working together. I really want to thank Governor Pritzker and his leadership on this issue, working with representatives from the city of Chicago, and Mayor Lightfoot and her team to really grow this industry for more and more people. Jason hit it really on the head where he talked about young people. You know, we are in the shadows of Senn High School down the street where there are young kids who come here after school that are upstairs working on editing or working on designing a screenplay. That's about dreams, and it's spaces like this and partnerships with government and really critical funding that will help those young people be on stage or be in an editing room, making a career for themselves and providing for their families. So it starts with partnership, but today's an exciting day to be here. I welcome all of you. I ask you to come back to Filmmakers in the future. But Governor, I really want to thank you for your leadership. We're coming out of a rough couple years, and I think that the arts energize the soul and the economy, and I think your leadership on that is going to really push us forward in the years to come. So really glad that you're here with us today. I want to recognize my colleague and partner in the community who's in the General Assembly, Mike Simmons, who does a great job down in Springfield on our behalf. And from Lori Lightfoot's team, Samir Mayakar and Aaron Harkey from D-Case that do great events around the city. But it's a great honor to introduce Juliana Stratton, our Lieutenant Governor. And if you need to have a cheerleader about Illinois, I can think of no one who can really inspire us for all of her hard work. Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you so much, Alderman. Hello, everyone. I am Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, and I use she, her pronouns. Thank you, Alderman, for that warm introduction and for all of your efforts to uplift our communities. And thank you, Governor Pritzker, for ensuring the arts and the hardworking individuals behind our favorite movies and shows are celebrated and supported in our state. I join the governor in acknowledging the elected officials here with us who ensure Illinois is the best state for talented and skilled workers to practice their craft. The workers and labor organizers, industry leaders, cast members, and community partners who are at the heart of this work. And our host today, Chicago filmmakers who for 50 years have helped drive this industry forward by providing the tools for others to reach their potential as artists. Really, we are here today because we recognize we go further when we build the pathways for new stories to be told, when we lead to make Illinois a home for productions to thrive and foster the next generation so they can pursue their dreams on and off screen. We are celebrating history today with this record-breaking $691 million in film revenues, and we're also celebrating the diverse voices who will continue this golden era of film production in our state. With the support of the Film and TV Workforce Training Program, funded by the improvements made to the Film Production Tax Credit, the majority of students, as we've heard in the program's first cohort, went on to paid positions where they could live their dreams after graduating. And more than 70% of that first cohort identifies as students of color. I can go deeper into the numbers, but we know that this is really about the people behind these outcomes. It's about aspiring BIPOC actors, producers, directors, and cinematographers who grew up feeling virtually unseen and unheard because they weren't used to seeing people who looked like them on the big screen at the premieres or award shows. It's about the college student who has a vision of what they can do in the industry but wonders if it's even just unrealistic to even try because they don't have the connections or resources to even imagine a pathway. Well, we're coming together today to say dream big, because in Illinois, we're committed to showing just how much is really possible. We'll continue working to open doors, to put resources toward cultivating the next bold ideas and innovative narratives, and I can't wait to see the stories that will come alive in our state next. Thank you so much, and with that, I'm going to invite Governor Pritzker back to the podium to answer any questions from the media. Thank you.
Do you take any questions from the media?
Hey, Governor.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Do you have any concerns that your involvement and the involvement of the Illinois Democratic Party in school board elections will drive away people who might be interested in running in the future but don't want to engage in partisan politics?
Well, this isn't about partisan politics. In fact, there are lots of candidates who are running, Republicans or Democrats. They're not listed on the ballot as such. What we're trying to do is raise awareness about the extremists that are running. And as you know, there are organizations and individuals like Dick Uihlein who are supporting these very, very extreme candidates, people who are anti-LGBTQ, anti-Muslim. They don't want to teach black history. They call it CRT if we're teaching black history. They don't want to teach Asian American history. And they want to take over school boards so that they can put their agenda forward at our local schools. And they shouldn't be elected. And people who go to vote should know who these extremists are.
You know, you've resisted making an endorsement in the Chicago mayor's race, but as governor, you're going to be working pretty closely at times with whoever is elected the next mayor of Chicago.
Exactly.
Can you explain what you like and dislike about Paul Vallis and what you like and dislike about Brandon Johnson?
Well, it's not that I'm resisting getting involved. I've said from the very beginning that I think the governor and the mayor, whoever the mayor is, need to work closely together. So whatever agreement or disagreement that I might have during a campaign, listening to their views here or there, what I know is that when it's all done, whoever that person is, we need to stand shoulder to shoulder to stand up for the city of Chicago and broadly for the state of Illinois. A successful city of Chicago is good for the entire state of Illinois, and the success of the state is good for the city of Chicago. Well, I think we have intent to make sure that, and remember, the General Assembly is responsible for passing it. I sign it. It's an effort we work on together, the budget. But our intention is to get the money out the door to support the programs that we're appropriating to. Sometimes when you're starting a new program, for example, it takes a little bit of time to organize what it is you're putting the money into, right? To make sure that they're going to spend it appropriately, that it's efficiently spent, that the organizations that are asking to receive those dollars meet certain criteria. And so sometimes it takes longer to get the money out the door than I would like. And remember, I came from private industry before I became governor. Things moved faster. If you make a decision as a CEO of a company, you can move, reasonably fast. In government, we all need to work on it together, and we need to make sure that we're doing it the right way for the taxpayers, that we're spending their money appropriately, efficiently, et cetera. So that's sometimes why not all the money gets out the door in one year or another when we start a new program. And sometimes in a year you have hiccups in the distribution of dollars of a program that you may have been funding for many years. An organization may have some difficulty that year, et cetera. So if you ever see that we're not spending as much money as we may have appropriated, it's usually for those reasons.
We'll do one more. Governor Pritzker.
Yes, sir.
Given recent COGFA estimates for revenue you mentioned earlier this week, tax cuts could be on the table. Are there any specific tax cuts you're considering? Are they going to be temporary or permanent?
So maybe I should let's stop and all celebrate that we have more revenue coming in because we have a growing economy in the state of Illinois. The first and foremost responsibility that I have and the General Assembly has is to balance the budget. And that's why we've been reasonably conservative every year when we've put forward our estimates of what revenue will be, and then we're spending only against those conservative estimates. Now, as you hear, things are a little better than we anticipated. That's happened in the last couple of years where we projected a budget surplus and we had a much bigger surplus than we anticipated. We shouldn't always expect that that's going to happen, and we need to be careful. In the state of Illinois, we got to pay our bills. We got to make sure that we're balancing the budget. And then when you know you've got a surplus, you got to ask a question. Should we put some money into long-term debt payment? And should we put some money into operations to fill out what has been a hollowed out state government over years before I became governor? And finally, are some of those dollars available for us to give back to the taxpayers because it's time that people got a tax break? Now, we did that last year. But we should be able to do that going forward if we have a stable amount of increased revenue over several years in a row. So I have talked to Republicans and Democrats about things that we can do. I think we, again, want to be conservative in thinking about it. On the other hand, expansive in hoping that we have even more over the next couple of years that we can make some significant changes. But I don't want anyone to feel like we're going to move too quickly to make these decisions. What I know is we are talking about some specific taxes here and there that we might be able to come together on, the Republicans and Democrats, to lower taxes, again, partly to increase and improve our economy and put dollars back into people's pockets. Thank you.
Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. And while you're at it, please leave us a comment. Thank you for watching.